Hacking is clearly easy, and the consequence for the victim huge: data leaks, loss of time, loss of money, loss of trust, and sometimes even worse. You've probably heard kids or teenagers hacking big, well-known companies. They don't need much, no advanced skill, just a laptop or even a Raspberry Pi. To make it simple, they use operating systems like Kali Linux, PowerOS, or Blackhatch with hacking tools already installed. Add internet, that's it. In the next few minutes, I will show you how hacking actually works, step by step. Of course, this is for educational purposes only. In cybersecurity, there are basically two main ways to hack someone. The first one is through social engineering, exploiting the human factor, tricking people, playing with their trust. The second is more technical, but the most interesting and very known in Hollywood, using exploit or taking advantage of vulnerabilities. Both can incredibly effective. Let's start with the easier way to hack someone, social engineering. It doesn't require any technical skills, just a bit of creativity and knowing how to manipulate people. One common method, phishing. You send a fake email or SMS that look real. One click and it's over. Sometimes the hacker pretends to be someone important in the company, like a manager or IT admin. They might ask for sensitive information, and because it sounds urgent, the victim doesn't think twice. It can also be a fake video call, asking for password or access. With AI, it's getting worse. Hackers can now generate realistic voice or face to fool their targets. Another trick, offer free software that's actually loaded with malware. People download it without knowing. There's also the quid pro quo method. Example, I'm from the IT support. Let me give you access to your PC. I will fix this issue. Famous Indian scammer.
Hello, I am calling from Microsoft Corporation. You owe me $20 Target gift card or else you will be under the arrest.
It sounds helpful, but it's a trap. Social engineering works because the weakest link is often not the system, it's the human. Now let's get into the most interesting part, exploiting vulnerabilities. This is how hackers break into a real system, network, server, application, even secured environment. It's more technical, but not impossible. There are step by step, it becomes clear. First step, reconnaissance. Before hacking, the hacker needs to know what's out there. They scan the network, looking for machine, open port, and active services. Tools like Nmap or Mascan make it fast. Then come fingerprinting. Figure out what operating system are running, what software, and which version. Public data help too. Domain, email, leaked document. Anything exposed online can be a clue. Next, exploitation. That's where the real break-in happens. Maybe there are outdated software with known vulnerabilities, CVEs that publicly list and already document. Or web app with how, like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, file inclusion, or even remote code execution. Sometimes, services like SMB or LDP are badly configured, with weak or no password at all. The hacker can also try brute force attack, guessing password for the SSH, FTP, or even VPNs. They might find dev or test environment accidentally left online, with debug feature or test account still active. And if credentials have leaked somewhere, they can try them on multiple services. That's called credential stuffing. When access is gained, they usually deploy on a payload. Once access is gained, they usually deploy the payload. What could be a reverse shell, a web shell, or backdoor? Something that gives them the control. Now, they are inside the system, and from here, things can escalate quickly. Once the hacker is inside the system, the next question is simple. And what can I reach from there? This phase is called internal discovery, and it's all about exploring. First, they check their current permission. What right does this user have? Can I read file, access folder, run commands? Then, they try to understand the structure of the system. What operating system is running? What version? What applications are installed? What services are active? How everything is configured? How is everything configured? Next, they explore the internal network. What's the IP range? What other machines are connected? What ports are open on nearby host? They look for shared folders, internal databases, or even printers. Anything reachable can be useful. Then, come the user enumeration. Who's login? At their stored credential, can I find username for the Active Directory or service account. The hacker also searched for sensitive files or weak spots. Backup file, password file, configuration script, database credential. Even one small mistake can open the door wider. At this stage, the goal is simple. Find the next step, a new target to move to, or a new weakness to exploit. Now that the hacker is inside and knows their supposed surrounding, the next goal is clear. How do I become an admin? This step is called privilege escalation, and it changes everything. First, they look for misconfiguration. On Linux, maybe the user has sudo rights they shouldn't have. On Windows, maybe some folder or services have weak permission. It's a high privilege. Servers can be abused. That's a shortcut to full control. Then, they search for sensitive file, script with hard-coded password, all backup file, config file with credential written in a plain text. Even one file like that can be a goldmine. They are also taking advantage of trust relationship. For example, accounts using the same password on multiple systems, or services that inherit permission from others without proper isolation. Sometimes, it's enough to extract a password hash or a session token, and reuse it somewhere else. And if the system isn't up to date, that's a huge opportunity. Local exploit, like for an old Linux kernel, outdated Windows version, can give root access instantly. Once the hacker has escalated privilege, they are no longer just a user. They control the machine. So now, the hacker has the control over one machine, but they are not going to stop there. The next question is, where else can I go? This phase is called lateral movement. The goal is simple: spread. From one machine to another, from a basic user PC to a domain controller. How do they do that? First, by using credential. If the same password is used on multiple accounts, or if they have stolen hash or Kerberos tickets, they can just log in somewhere else. Tools like pass2hash or pass the ticket make this easier. Next, they use remote access control tool, WinRMR, RDP, SMB on Windows, or even SSH on Linux. If they open, they have credential. They are in. They also look for shared resources, map drive, network folders, or even admin tool left accessible. And then come pivoting. The hacker route their traffic through the compromised machine, using it as a bridge to reach deeper part of the network. Along the way, they keep collecting more credentials, stored password, safe session, keychain, anything they can use to jump to the next system. They start again. Reconnaissance, privilege escalation, spread, until they control the entire environment. At this point, the hacker has access. They have moved through the system, they have escalated privilege. Now come on the real question, what I am here to do. This is the final phase, the objective. Sometimes the goal is to steal data, documents, email, database, proprietary files, anything valuable. They collect everything, compress it, encrypt it, and exfiltrate it. The data might be sent over HTTPS, DNS tunnels, or even through cloud APIs to avoid detection. Other times, the mission is dispersion, to slow down or shut down operation, or they might plant malware, install ransomware, or leave backdoor for the future access. But smart attackers don't just leave, they make sure they can come back. They create hidden user accounts, implant stealthy malware, or modify legitimate tools to act as backdoors. And before leaving, they are clean up, deleting logs, clear histories, remove traces, to make it look like nothing never happened. That's how a real attacker unfolds, step by step. And the scary part, just one person who knows what to do. But for some attackers, getting in isn't enough. The real goal now is to stay in, without being noticed. This is the persistence and defense evasion phase. They want to survive reboots, security scans, even cleanup attempts. To do that, they install backdoors, like custom malware, reverse shell, Trojan distinguished at normal system services. Sometimes, they don't even need malware, they just abuse legit system features. They create scheduled tasks, modify registry key, or add logging script that quietly relaunch their tool after every reboot. They might even create new admin accounts or drop an SSH key to get back in any time, without triggering alarms. To cover their track, they delete or alter log, or even disable logging entry. And to hide their payloads, they encrypt them, obfuscate the code, or bury them inside a normal looking file. At this point, the attacker is invisible. They are inside the system and no one knows, and even for years or even decades. As you've seen, hacking isn't magic. It's methodical, step by step, from a simple scan to full control of a system, and the tools are out there, free, legal, and easy to use. The real danger isn't just the tech, it's how little it takes to break everything. That's why understanding how attacker works is the best first step to defend against them. This video wasn't made to scare you, it's to prepare you. Because once you know how the game is played, you stop being an easy target. Stay aware, stay safe, and stay hard. And as always, use this knowledge responsibly.